Hi, this is Dr. Cairns, and we're well into week 4 of organization behavior. And I just want to make a few comments for you. First of all, wish you all a Merry Christmas. That's coming up rather quickly. This past weekend, I had the privilege to attend APU's annual Christmas presentation at Lake Avenue Church, and it was just phenomenal, the talent that is evident in the school and the university, but also the heart of ministry that's there. And so it's just very enjoyable and a start to the Christmas season, and practicing and acknowledging the presence of God that came into the world but's present in our lives. So I just want to review a few things for you as we go forward. This is our roadmap. It continues to be, and we're making progress, as you can tell and see, as we're making some checklist posts as we move forward. I want to make one comment regarding our forum discussions. Have been phenomenal in your engagement and your analysis and your insights and into Rango, and we'll conclude that this week. Just want to say you have some differences of opinion on some of the items as you're now analyzing them and viewing them, and I like to say there's probably no right or wrong. There's just your viewpoint and your perspective, which is what everyone is entitled to, and really makes the complexity of understanding human behavior just as much an art as it is a science. And so you're getting an opportunity to apply some of the scientific elements and definitions, and you're getting to engage that through your thoughts and your artful application. Also, as we look at our readings in the Christian Atheist, I just continue to be amazed at what God is doing in your life through these readings and through your introspection and reflection and application to your life, but also into the role of organization behavior in the workplace. And so I just encourage you to continue that and allow God to speak to your heart. I also would say keep copies of your reflections to refer back to those from time to time, because there are certain commitments that you're making to yourself and to God, and not to be discouraged. I'm going to have a couple more comments about that in a few moments. I have the poll up there. Some of you have participated, some have not. It's optional. It still continues to be there. So if you can take a few moments to go in there and complete that, I would appreciate it. Also, I just want to talk a little bit about this week's reading this past week in terms of really what I would categorize as unconditional love, and our ability or inability sometimes to accept and acknowledge that of God's love in our own life, but then also how do we turn around and extend that to others. And so I have the words to a song that to me kind of sums it all up, really in allowing God's love to break through all the things, the barriers that can be evident that we put up or others put up, or that we allow to come into our life. And so my encouragement to you is just to really realize and recognize, you know what, God has accomplished it for you, and nothing can separate you from his love. So I want to look a little bit in terms of organization behavior and this whole concept of unconditional love, and I'd like to use Maslow's need hierarchy. And here I just ask the question, are we capable as human beings of unconditional love? And if so, where do we start, and what does it look like, and does it really travel to other places in the workplace? So we can look at different aspects here where, according to Maslow, we have needs, and we start and do it in sort of a linear fashion for survival needs, looking at our safety and security, and then our needs for belonging and social activity. And you've been engaging in that in the discussion with Rango, and understanding the avenues that people kind of going through, with the goal really of being where we reach fulfillment, and of challenging work, and where work fulfills us and life is meaningful to us. And so how are our needs satisfied? And we look in terms of those basic elements as well. So I want to just look at some avenues of how we can engage in this process a little bit more in terms of our own self identification, our self-status, our self-respect, our self-image, and how we view ourselves, and the need to be respected by others. And the first is taking an inventory of our own strengths and weaknesses, and later on in the course we're going to look at strength finders, and we'll have a good sense of our own strengths. Sometimes we don't self-awareness of our areas of weaknesses, and what I would like to focus on there is that the best that we can do in my mind with an area of weakness is trying to minimize the negative consequences that it can have, and so neutralize it. Sometimes we could focus and think, well, can I make my weakness a strength? And there'll be evidence to say that that's a rather difficult thing to do. And so what I would say is try to make it where those weaknesses don't overcome the areas of our strengths. So I give you an opportunity to kind of draw on a piece of paper and take an inventory of your strengths and your weaknesses, and spend some time thinking through those. And as it relates to our own positive image, looking at our advancement, our recognition, and our status, which are all wound up in terms of this concept of how we view ourselves and how we view others, is really looking at setting realistic expectations for ourselves, setting aside this whole idea that we're perfectionists and that we're going to achieve perfectionism, and accept our accomplishments just as much as we acknowledge our mistakes. And be self-aware of ourselves and our actions on others, and then stop comparing ourselves to others. So as we look at this idea of unconditional love, and it is something, when I think about it, am I extending that to people that I work with and that are my friends, and not only just in my own personal relationships, but also in my professional relationships, giving unconditional respect to others, giving unconditional love, even if I don't use that term. So Rango Part 2, you engaged really well in this, and as you go further and deeper into this movie, the more you get in terms of your own observation of the behaviors that are taking place, and your own critical thinking and thinking about what's transpiring and its impact on organization behavior. So phenomenal insights and outstanding reflections on memorable quotes, and I just appreciate that. Just a quick insight into Part 3 for this week, giving a little further deeper dive as we look at personality and other sorts of aspects as well. And then how does this film relate to the topic that you chose for your classic organization behavior theory? So again, I just want to give you an insight into how I'm going to read your papers. There's a rubric attached to the syllabus, but here I have the rubric. I'm going to be looking at how you summarize. And my basic thing I'm going to look at is what you did. I'm going to take it on that everybody's going to do good work. And so how do you separate yourselves from good to being better, and then maybe translating it into best? So everybody needs to be good. Can you be better? Certainly. Can you aspire to be the best as it relates to looking at this paper? So I'm going to rank you according to that in each one, and then I'll identify some points associated with that, and that'll be the mechanism, one of the avenues that I will give feedback to you. So that's how we'll be judging it. Also, in Sakai will be this template that you could use this for your presentation next week to your colleagues in the discussion. This is, you're going to be sharing with each other. This is something that you could use, adapt, modify, change however you want, or ignore. It's up to you. So lastly, headlines and highlights for the week ahead is the conclusion of Rango. Sad to see the movie end. Hopefully it ends on a happy ending. There are no assigned chapter readings in the text, but there is chapter 4 of The Christian Atheist in the reading ahead there. Take the poll if you would, and then look ahead to what's coming up in week 5, and that will be our last really kind of contact before the Christmas break. But this virtual classroom really never closes, so those of you that want to keep moving forward on the coursework that you can, feel free to do that, and I will engage with you as well. So I'm praying for breakthrough for you, that God will amaze you throughout this week, but also this Christmas season, and throughout this coursework. God bless.